Okay, this should be a fairly quick video. It is a more or less a public service announcement and admitting that I was wrong. You will see 3 batteries in front of you. These 2 are originals. This is a replacement I made up. Now there's a flaw, or 2 flaws with this one I made up, and why we are going to be redesigning this. If we look closely, I'll show you straight up here. Here is an original. You notice that in the center here, there is a fairly substantial groove. Not so much on this one. It needs a little bit of a groove. This is one of the cells that I have been using to make these. And I'm really not happy with the build quality of these last cells. I don't think we're going to be dealing with this seller again, because half of these are leaky and just generally it's just bad. So they're big coin cells like this. There's very little room for a cable to fit. I think this is a roughly the right gauge of cable. If you notice, it sits, that one kind of sits because the insulation's gone, but no matter what I try, even with this cable, let's see if I can get my thumb out of the way, and I should show you, it is not quite sitting in there correctly. If I do it with this one, if I put it at the right angle, it barely can notice it at all. Now this stuff might be 18 gauge or 20 gauge, so this might be a little bit thicker than what would normally go on there, but that's very important. Yeah, this is 26, okay. But either way, it barely sticks out at all. Very important. Let's dig out Mr. Caliper here, and I shall show you. Now, if I were to use these batteries, I mean, granted, these are a little bit smaller physically, notice that you have a significant gap in the middle. More than enough room for a 26 gauge wire. So we'll take the original. This came out of an Armada 7400. And we're going to focus on where the cables come out on the left on this one. So if we do something like yonder, here, so, and we straighten it out, we have 16 millimeters. Now, let's do this the same on Mr. Replacement here. I gotta take it off camera just to get it lined up, and you will notice that I fell off for one. Okay, so this is proving to be a very tedious task, so let's try that again. But notice, you are 1.5 millimeters upwards of 2 millimeters wider. Yeah, I've got. That's significant, especially in something like an Armada 7700 or 7800, where there's very little space to begin with. That extra 2 millimeters, unfortunately, I had one of my customers, they gave me some neutral feedback, which I was a little bit annoyed that they went straight to that. So if you're watching this, I stand by my comment. I was a little bit annoyed, but I'm glad you responded to me and told me what exactly went wrong. So I do, regardless, I am happy that you did have enough respect to give me a detailed description of the problem. But if you do have a problem, this goes for everybody out there. Work with me first. Tell me what's up. I will try to make it right for you. So that way, we don't sacrifice any more retro systems. I hate doing that. I'm a proud member of the retro IT community, and the last thing I want to do is destroy more retro systems than I already have. Now, the good news is, if you have an Armada 7400, there's a little bit of leg room with these, so This one, provided it didn't turn into a melty mess or on the inside, this would still fit fine. But needless to say, there is going to be a redesign on these, so I did find some that had the proper groove on the inside, so that way this battery will be evenly shaped and not too big at all. So that's all I have. Thank you for watching as always. Have a good one.